Wake up. This is a brand new episode of Wake Up Bright.
Wake up.
With your workout buddies, April and sometimes Jenna. Your hit podcast. Your much needed hit of encouragement, empowerment, and motivation to live and grow each day a little brighter.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Wake Up Bright. I'm April Lauren and
I'm Jenna. What is this?
I don't know. We've got magic hands. We'll put a spell on you.
Well, it's about to be Halloween.
It is.
So fitting.
It is. And speaking of it's about to be Halloween, if you are trying to do the weekly projects, if you will, this week's what we added to was doing 3 workouts over 3 days. So if you haven't done any workouts this week, girl, you got to work out today, tomorrow, and the next day. And if you don't, no judgment,
It's still fine. You're still fine if you don't.
Yeah. But I have really been enjoying my workouts. I have kind of been doing the opposite. So not really the opposite because I work out every day, but I have been trying to listen to my body a little bit better and rest. And I'm trying so hard not to guilt myself when I don't do my self-prescribed plan of exercise.
You've been working them. I feel like my watch always goes off every day. Ding, 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 ding. April finished a workout. And there's 15 different ones. I'm like, Jesus. Trying to reply to all of them. I'm like, no. More keeps coming.
I've been doing a lot.
What is your October challenge? Did you achieve it already?
Oh, probably not. So that's why. I think that I don't know how many I've gotten. I just get them sometimes.
This Apple Watch is dangerous because it I need to get all the badges that I can, all the challenges, awards, or whatever BS they have. Every time there's something, I just have to do it. So, and I also have to close my rings every day. So,
I need 200 more minutes of exercise.
You can do it.
Yeah,
you're gonna do it.
It's already done. I'm not worried about that. When I saw 2,400 minutes of exercise, I was in the month of October, I'm like, BS, that will never happen. But I guess I've been moving enough to where.
Because you do move a lot and, they come out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah. So if you haven't moved, how are y'all? And let us know how you're doing, how your spending time outside's going, how your water's going. Have you done your workouts? Have you been meeting your movement goals? And then I had separated that out. So the workouts can be whatever workout you want to do for however long, but just trying to move. Maybe I said 30 minutes, but really it doesn't matter. Just intentional workout for 3 times. We want to know. We want to know how you're doing. And small, healthy habits compound over time. And that's what leads to lasting change and really helps us get to our goals in a sustainable way. Self-hate and beating ourselves up, whether you're using the Apple Watch badges, or you're using your own inner negative Nancy voice. That would be me. To be you're not doing enough. You're not doing it well enough, constantly. No, you're sore, but do it anyway. That's not healthy. So, and sometimes
one day I will have all the badges.
Yeah. So just as long as it's fun and it's motivating you in a positive way, then whatever it is awesome. And good habits compound over time for lasting change. I heard a similar quote. I was watching a vlog the other day. I watched Nick Bear and he said something he got it from a book. I don't know what book. Don't focus on success, focus on commitment. So it's different. But focus on commitment.
Same, but different.
Yeah. Because if you're committed to your process, if you're committed to your goals, you're committed to your Apple Watch badges, like the rest will sort itself out. Like you'll get to where you want to be and you'll find success. Whereas if you focus on success, you're more prone to trying to shortcut the system. So crash diets.
All right. Try to just get there. Yeah. I found this quote too while I was looking for the yesterday's one. And it said, set a goal that makes you want to jump out of the bed in the morning.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, that's like really good advice, actually. Just makes it like thrive to go, like, you know, set a goal that you're super passionate and excited about. And I think that's just, you know, almost have done already, because then you want to do it. You're excited to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of yesterday's quotes, it reminded me, I was thinking about this later when I was editing our footage, but that quote that I read that was at the front of Brene Brown's book. Let me see if I can find it. So I got the book in my hand. So we're going to chat about it. Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we will ever do. So I know that I shared that before, but yesterday, Jenna's quote, it just spurred that conversation about like not letting the bad things in our lives define us, but they kind of do because they're part of our story. Owning our story and not letting our story own us.
Yes.
Is powerful. It's powerful. I want to start. So this is, exploring the power of love, belonging, and being enough in the book. So I'm on page 23. She writes, when we let go of what other people think and own our story, we gain access to our worthiness, the feeling that we are enough just as we are, and that we're worthy of love and belonging. When we spend a lifetime trying to distance ourselves from the part of our lives that don't fit with who we think we're supposed to be, we stand outside of our story and hustle for our worthiness by constantly performing, perfecting, pleasing, and proving. Our sense of worthiness, that critically important piece that gives us access to love and belonging, lives inside of our story. I love that. I love it a lot. And then
That's a good book.
Yeah. So this whole part of their section, if you will, is just about essentially how loving yourself allows you to be open to loving. And then she also put forth that culturally here, it's typically, especially for women, like we should put ourselves last. Everyone should come first. And what happens when we put ourselves last is we lose ourselves and therefore our capacity to actually show up for the people who need us. So show up for yourself. Show up for yourself in little ways, whether that's participating in our little Balanced and Bright challenge or whatever way you feel you should or can. Mm-hmm. And don't beat yourself up. Just move forward, adjusting to your needs and owning your story. I think that's really powerful. Really powerful. Did you think of what you were going to say?
I have two things. Today is Orval's birthday. He's 8 years old.
Birthday or 8? Mm-hmm. You old man dog. You look good.
I mean, he's a little grandpa. Grandpa dog. And then I remember I mentioned you that Maintenance Phase podcast that I occasionally listen to.
Uh-huh.
Because they, talk about all these diets and fitness stuff and whatever. Did you know that Angela Lansbury has made a fitness book back in the day?
No.
Back in the 80s. And it was like, it wasn't even like problematic. And it was so funny. Now I want to Google these things.
Huh.
But she's such a sweet old lady. And she was talking about like, move. I think what did she call them? But she encourages people just move, like do a daily walk and do stretches and stuff like that makes you feel good, which is crazy when you think about it. That it was in the 80s or like early 90s. Like that's revolutionary for that time.
Yeah.
Like listen to your body and you don't, all kinds of stuff and no crazy diets and all these things. But I was shocked when I heard and learned this information.
I think, well, for one, she gave like solid advice. So that's probably why nobody knows about her book.
Honestly, that's probably what it is.
That being said, I've said this many times on my channel, and I know Jenna and I've talked about it here. Like, the answer for your own self, like whatever's going to solve whatever issues you have or that you deal with, it has to come from you. It's not going to come from an outside source. And I bring this up because I've noticed lately there's been a lot of talk about like mastermind courses and stuff, and people paying. And now I guess it's like an influencer thing. Where influencers are creating like no one is going to have your answer. And if you go forward with a mastermind, or let's say even with this Balanced and Bright initiative collaborative, like this is not going to be your answer. It might help you look at yourself in a way where you find your answer, but just know you have that power and you don't have to pay anyone for the power. You don't have to buy any books. You don't have to do anything. Like, if you listen to yourself, can figure out what you need in order to move forward. It's there. The power is within you, Simba. Isn't that
I think it is.
I need to look up that quote. I can't find that quote exactly. So
I have a feeling that there's something like that is said in the movie.
Well, I found something similar. While enjoying his carefree Hakuna Matata life, Simba becomes awakened to the hope and the potential and the royal heritage that is his to claim. You have forgotten who you are, and so you have forgotten me, his father Mustafa tells him. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become. You must take your place in the circle of life. Remember who you are. You are my son and the one true king. Remember who you are. So that's the quote, I'm pretty sure. But to relate that back to what I was saying, like, it's easy for us to lose ourselves in the, I don't even know what to call it, because it's not even keeping up with the Joneses.
Maybe the expectations of society and the pressure, and especially this pandemic messing things up, and unrealistic expectations of life.
Yeah. But even if you've never felt a true sense of self, it's there and you've known it before. I think we all come to this life with a special purpose and spiritual gifts. Even if you're not religious, that's okay. I'm not trying to put my religion or anything on anyone, but I do believe that we are all endowed with gifts, and you just have to remember who you are, and that you have the power to make your life what you want it to be, and regardless of what challenges you face or what comes your way or what society tells you should be doing. I think this is really true with motherhood too. Like, instinctively, you will know how to be a mom. Like, we're wired to.
Right.
And, or like even Chipper, like, so, I mean, this is kind of like, I guess, dumbing it down, but if my Chipper, if she was to have puppies, immediately she would guard, protect, nourish, take care, and be at those puppies' beck and call. Like, biologically, she's wired that way. And there are things that we're wired to do. And just remember who you are. You are worth being kind to yourself. You're worth living each day as healthy and bright as you can. And you should totally check out Angela Lansbury's book, $6 on Amazon. I found it. Any parting words for today's podcast?
Be yourself. Be you. Remember who you are.
I love it. Well, we will
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, which we will talk to you one more time before Halloween. But happy Halloween today.
Just to get up again. Bye.
Bye, y'all.